Hello everyone, welcome to the Osteo and Physio YouTube channel. For today's video we are going to be looking at how to deal with intercostal muscle strains. So the intercostal muscles are composed of the internal, external and innermost fibres with different roles in the body, attaching between the ribs from the sternocondyle joints all the way round to the back of the thoracic spine. Its roles in the body help with rib mechanics and rib movement, protection of the ribs as well as breathing. When we inhale, the external fibres contract, and when we exhale, the internal fibres contract. When someone's presenting with an intercostal muscle strain, what you typically find is it's normally unilateral, tends to be quite localised, quite sore. They can almost pinpoint where the soreness is. It typically follows the rib round due to the attachment of the fibres going right around the rib cage, as well as possibly soreness and restriction on breathing. So when we're looking at helping with intercostal muscle strains, what we want to look at is spinal mobility, rib mobility and releasing around the area. Number one, we want to add heat to the area. We want to encourage fresh blood flow to the area to help with that healing. So what we would typically recommend is a hot water bottle or anything that can add heat to the area, holding it for about 2 to 5 minutes. Number two, we want to regain mobility around the area, looking at spinal and rib movement. So starting off thinking of movement through the thoracic spine, we want to look at flexion and extension. So chin down towards the chest and follow that movement down. Good. And then very slowly, so you want all of it to be within a pain-free range, gently looking up and then leaning back. So we're gently arching backwards, and then we want to go into a side bending movement, so leaning the body over to one side and back to the middle and then over to the opposite side. So with each of these movements we want to repeat that cycle between 5 to 10 times, slow and controlled within a pain-free range. So for example, if we're taking it to about here and it's sore, what you would do is just reduce the range and build it up over time. Secondly, we want to look at mobility through the rib cage and start to stretch through the intercostal muscles and open up through the ribs. So hands above the head, we're going to breathe in. As we breathe in, we extend back, and as we breathe out, we're going to go over to the side and then slightly rotate through the body, holding for a couple of seconds on end range and then back up to the middle. Changing side, we're going to breathe in, arching back, going over to one side and then adding in a tiny bit of rotation, holding there and then back to the middle and then relaxing down. So aiming between 5 to 10 reps on each side. Finally, we want to look at releasing through the diaphragm, so the big dome muscle underneath the rib cage. The reason being is although the pain's in the intercostal muscle, if we're getting soreness there, that will dramatically impact our breathing and make everything feel really, really tight. So you want to start to relax through just to get the ribs moving and relaxing better. So how we do this is we feel down into the rib cage, so we feel right at the bottom of the rib cage. You're going to gently let the fingers tuck underneath the ribs. As you breathe in, you don't push in, and as you breathe out, you curl the fingers underneath the rib cage. So you're looking at about just the tip of the finger and you're holding that for a couple of seconds and then relaxing and then moving across and moving down the ribs a little bit more. So as you breathe in, leaving the fingers where they are, and as you breathe out, gently curling the fingers underneath the rib cage, holding for a couple of seconds and then relaxing. What you might want to look at after the video today is also our routine where we've opened up and released through the upper back, which I will attach at the end of the video.